Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Warframe video. So, this is just a quick video about the Warframes I recommend on getting this year. This is a request video from a patron member of the channel, and I hope that this will help you also in some way. Take note that this video will also feature the build I am using for each Warframes, and what type of missions I use them. So, let's begin with the generalist on this list, Revenant Prime. If we are talking about insane survivability, then look no further and go get yourself a Revenant Prime. His Mesmer skin ability is the best immortality skill in the game, and I always use this Warframe whenever I want to chill in steel path levels using my guns. With Mesmer skin, I have no worries on dying in steel path levels, and I can fully enjoy destroying enemies with my guns, as Mesmer Shield will just take care of my full invulnerability to damage and any status effects. The build I am using for Revenant right now is a Mesmer Shield mod setup, combined with Raw to power up my weapons. The Mesmer Shields is really handy in supporting a team, but be careful using this on team that has a setup which relies on Hunter Adrenaline, or Rage for energy refill. This build is truly mortal, and you can take it in any missions that you want. The next Warframe is probably Titania Prime. This Warframe is very handy when it comes to farming relics in either Yugo or Hepit in the Void. I can farm the normal star chart with this setup, and in the Void capture missions, it will only take less than a minute to farm one relic with this build. In addition, this is the build I also use for cracking the relics open in Void Fisher missions. I just simply go to either capture or exterminate Void Fisher missions, and then just spam Thermal Sunder to kill enemies, so they will drop reactants. Right now, Titania Prime is my relic and prime parts farming queen, and I highly recommend this Warframe this year. If you want a more tanky version of Titania Prime, then look no further and try out Wukong Prime. This Warframe is great when it comes to hunting Kuva leeches in the game and even Sisters of Parvos. There's also a possibility that it will be great in the upcoming Technosite hunts. In addition, I'm having tons of fun playing this Warframe in bounty missions, especially in the Warframe 1999 content. You can also use this Warframe in other bounty missions and in general gameplay. With this build, you can easily go from objective to extraction with Cloud Walker, and you have enough survivability and firepower to kill enemies. With this mod setup, all you need to have is a good weapon and you are good to go. Then, I also love playing with Chroma Prime. The Lunar New Year skin made a huge impact on why I love playing this Warframe right now. But the real reason is that Chroma is great when it comes to farming credits in the Profit Taker fight. I know there's a new method right now in farming credits, and we will talk about that in the next video. But honestly, I will stick with Profit Taker fight as it also gives extra loot that I can use to purchase stuff in Fortuna. Not to mention that Chroma is also a great Warframe in Steel Path levels right now. With this Mecha mod set plus Nourish build, I can survive Steel Path levels easily and have the maximum benefit from Chroma's Vex armor buff. The Warframe is really insane in my opinion, and it's really fun to play Chroma with any elemental gun that can destroy Steel Path levels easily. The next Warframe is obviously Necros. Among the farming Warframes in the game, Necros is still my first love, and my usual build for this Warframe is a solo farming mod setup with the Shield of Shadows augment. I rarely use this setup in team composition though, as some players don't like my minions, and that is why I prefer solo farming survival Steel Path missions in the game. It's also fun to play solo with Necros, as you won't feel alone with all his summons, and you can enjoy the feeling of being a true summoner in Warframe. Also, Wisp Prime is a great versatile Warframe that I highly recommend this year. I always use this Warframe when leveling my new weapons in Steel Path Ilara Jupiter. With this build, I can simply put the motes and buff my on-call crew. After that, the crew will take care of the rest and help the team level up. This technique can also be done in Team Void Fisher missions, especially in survival runs wherein all wants to camp in one spot. The motes are really reliable in boosting the fire rate of guns, and as well as giving survivability to the team, enough to do a 1-hour survival run in any Steel Path endurance missions. Next, we have Trinity Prime. This build is for Void Cascade missions, as Trinity is one of the best Warframes in dealing with those Thrax units in that mission. The Warframe also received huge changes recently, and instead of doing a negative duration build, you can now take full advantage of the energy vampire setup that grants you energy, and as well as the true damage that it deals against enemies. So far, I can say that Trinity Prime got improved drastically when it comes to performance after the recent rework, and this build has made me enjoy Void Cascade missions even more. I would also want to add on this list the Broken Warframe. This is a run and gun setup for the Warframe, which takes advantage of their Grasp of Lock ability. Nourish here is not only to give viral damage to my weapons, but its primary use is for energy maintenance and pairs well with Arcane Energize. By the way, I don't have the Prime version of this Warframe because I don't feel that I need it right now, but I will surely farm them later. This build is usually good for bounty missions, especially Exterminate, but you can also use this build for general Seku gameplay. Saren is also on my list, and my favorite Toxin Nuka Queen. Right now, I'm enjoying this setup with the Duviri Hammer, and I can nuke a crowd with this synergy with one slam. The hammer's unique traits pairs well with Saren's Toxin, allowing you to deal insane damage to even steel path enemies. By the way, you can use spores on this build by adding range mods, and this is more of a crowd nuking with a hammer setup. If you like to play with a spore setup, then simply remove the Neon mod set in this build and replace it with range mods. And finally, I would like to add on this list Nova Prime. This Warframe is a blessing right now in defense missions, or any missions that you need to kill fast. The recent change to Nova was drastic, that it made the Warframe function better in real missions. She can nuke better right now with her antimatter drop. You can easily get the 90% damage reduction on her first ability now, and you can select from speed or slow with one press of her ultimate ability. The change to her fourth ability is really great, and you now have full control of the battlefield, as you can speed things up if you want, or slow it down if you need a breathing room. Nova Prime is really an amazing Warframe right now, and I also highly recommend getting this Warframe this year. So, these are all my recommended Warframes for 2025. Now, I would also love to know who are your favorite Warframe to play with this year. Let me know in the comments section below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again in my next video. Squad Leader, signing off.